Sven from Scythe, Malcolm. So Sven, you started Not Scythe Beast as a studio project. So what first inspired you to start writing and recording?
Well, Kopi and I started off in 2012 with the idea to write a little birthday song for a good friend's 40th birthday, and that worked out very good. So we continued writing songs together. Kopi is the technical mastermind behind Scythe Beast, and I focus on writing the music. We started recording in a studio owned by Kopi and his cousin. We started with programmed drums, but that was pretty boring, so I asked my good friend Andreas Theo Tegler to do the drumming. Theo is the drummer in Poverty's No Crime and some other local bands, and we are very happy to get him interested, though he comes from a progressive metal band. It was like throwing him in a Shark Tank when we made him doing blast beats, but he's a very talented guy and figured out what we wanted for Scythe Beast.
Your first album, Breeding Devastation, came out in 2016. Was it well received? Did you get a bit of a following from that one?
Breeding Devastation was a complete self-made album, except the mastering, which Kopi handed over to Daniel Thabit at Liquid Studios. Theo did the drums, I played all guitars, bass and the vocals, and Kopi mixed the album. Unfortunately, none of us is a marketing genius, so we got some response from the contacts Theo got from his work with Poverties, and the reviews were very good. But we thought that nobody really cares about three guys from a village in Lower Saxony bringing out an album, so we put the whole thing on Bandcamp for free download. There's no monetary interest behind our music, so you can still get it there for free, or what you like us to pay.
This is a tricky one. What are your three Desert Island album picks? What are the albums that you can't live without?
3 albums, well, that's a hard one. At first, The Unorthodox from Edge of Sanity. Listen to Scythe Beast and you'll guess why. Then Rain and Blood from Slayer, still a classic. On third, I'd pick Dead Heart in a Dead World from Nevermore. Warrell Dane is an unbelievable singer and the music is simply not from this earth. You're looking for emotional music, that's your album. Warrell's death is a huge loss for the whole metal scene.
2019 Scythe Beast becomes a live band with a full band lineup. How did you meet everyone? How did you get together?
Okay, if you're a metalhead and you're living in a rural area like this, you know the few people that play in bands. The only problem was to find guys that can go that fast. I played in a cover band with Theo and Frank, and Jens played bass in a local band called Snooze Button. We got in touch with Klaus while we were looking for a singer to record Indicted for Misconception, so Kopi got in contact with him. I did the vocals on the album by myself because Klaus was busy with work, but he finally managed to be our front beast. Klaus was in Misery Speaks and Forever It Shall Be before he had to focus on family and stuff. But now he's back and hungry for the stage.
How did playing live compare to that control that you used to have in the studio by yourself?
Playing live, yeah. We only had the pleasure to play live on our stage premiere in January 2020. This was our first gig and then came that pandemic crap. For me, playing live is letting go. In the studio, Kopi pushes me to bring out the best performance for the recording, but playing live is like releasing all the emotions in your music. I have been waiting so long for that moment, and when we got off stage, people came over and asked what the hell we did. They really liked our music, and that's what smashes you to the wall. We wondered if our music will work live, and the answer is, fuck yeah, it kicks ass.
Earlier this year, your second album, Indicted for Misconception, came out. How was it recording with a full band?
We formed the band after the album was finished, so the cast for the second album is like the first one. Theo on drums and me on everything else. But we had the great pleasure to get Gunnar from Ancient Curse to play some of the solos for us. He's an incredible guitar player and he inspired me to try playing solos myself. That's a cool experience.
I like that title, Indicted for Misconception. What's the story behind that one?
Well, I'm always confused when someone is killing in the name of God. You'll find this topic in some of my songs because it's complete madness. I'm not a religious person and I definitely respect if you're believing in something. But if your God forces you to kill other people for not believing, he's simply a giant asshole. Indicted for Misconception was inspired by what happens at the Bataclan in Paris on an Eagles of Death Metal gig. Don't let yourself get blinded by so-called religious leaders. If you're a religious person, please focus on the love and grace. Help each other tolerate other opinions and act like a human, something between Gandhi and that witch-burning idiots in medieval times.
I'm unsure of the COVID situation in your part of the world. Have you been able to play shows to, back up this album's release?
Our first gig this year would have been in September, but it was cancelled a few days ago. The situation is very difficult for the clubs and venues here. We are hoping for a better 22, but in the meantime I'm working on other projects. Christy Heinz, a very talented singer, joined me recently for a cover of Propaganda's P Machinery. We just filmed a video for it and Dan Svanö mastered the audio files for it at Unisound Studios. This is by far one of the most exciting things I have done as a musician, so keep an eye for it. Release will be end of August.
And lastly, is there anything else you want us to add before we wrap it up?
After finishing the cover, I'll work on some new Scythe Beast stuff, I guess. But working with Christy was a blast, so we raised Beast 51 with members of Scythe Beast and B51 North as a project where we can do all the things that won't fit in our regular bands. Besides that, we hope to get the opportunity to play live and bring the Beast back on stage where it belongs.
Thanks heaps, Ben. Thanks for your time.
Of course. I'd like to say a big thank you, Ben, for having me here. It's not a usual thing for me to talk to people around the world about your music and the work of all you YouTubers, bloggers, Macs, and simply everyone that gives underground bands like us a platform to get known is highly appreciated. So at last, to everyone out there, get in touch with us. Let us know what you think about our music. Follow us on social media, Spotify, and so on. And to you, Ben, I'll pay you a beer when we are playing Australia. You can nail me on that. See ya and take care.